podcast number 2. It is now called Easily Offensive. We're not trying to offend anyone, but if you are offended, I'm sorry you're so touchy. It is an unscripted show. We don't have any guidelines on what we're going to say or what gets said. And whatever gets said represents the person who said it and not me, not the podcast, not anyone we work with. As far as working with people, we have begun a little co-promo relationship with Tommy Toehold. He is a cartoon who is very popular on YouTube. He's an MMA cartoon. It's like a comedy cartoon MMA show that comes out every week. You can find him at, if you search Tommy Toehold on Twitter or Facebook, you can find him and links from there. It's awesome. It's a hilarious show, and I mean hilarious. I'm not just saying that because he acknowledges my little podcast. It's actually very funny, and Joe Rogan, Dana White, Bruce Buffer, who's the announcer for UFC, they've all retweeted his stuff and given him little shout outs, so that's awesome. Like, it's pretty legit as far as MMA if you got those guys behind you. So he was nice enough to give us a little retweet here and there, so I'm going to help return the favor because apparently none of my friends really know who he is, and I've been a fan for a while, so I want my friends in my gym at Toronto Nogi to kind of get on board with him because he's awesome. He's the only one that's really helping us out right now, so all the shouts to him. I kind of give him a little shout out in the show, but I was extremely hungover and it didn't go over that well. So check him out. Find him everywhere. Follow his shit. Tommy Toehold. It's hilarious. We're still working with Foresight for the Blind. They're a Toronto-based band. They're letting us use their music for free, which is awesome. So that's what you're going to hear right now. So we have the same guys as last week. If you weren't paying attention to that, we got Nick Fair, who's a BJJ brown belt, and we got David Knox, who's just still a smart motherfucker, and they talk about everything. I'm proud to say we are now 100% shit-free. If you didn't watch the last one, about 6 minutes in, there's fecal matter. So we are now 100% shit-free, so hopefully you'll make it past the 6-minute mark. It's way shorter this time. Last week was 2 hours, so now we're only at probably about 45 minutes, depending on how long this intro goes. So hopefully that'll kind of not scare too many people off. I think the 2-hour mark was a bit intimidating. Unless we're on iTunes, which I'm working on, so fuck. There'll be links for that too. Alright, well, here's Foresight for the Blind. I think I've wasted enough of your time.
I can throw it in like totes and phones.
What you should do is just talk over this part.
You should move forward.
Fuck yourself.
Okay, I just started. Oh, I'm sorry.
You could actually dub over everything that happened and like use different voices for us to make us say whatever you
I'm
want.
gonna reenact it with sock puppets.
How's it going today?
Alright. It started.
It started.
You wanna just start with Nick's picks?
Yeah, let's do it.
So we're starting Nick's picks.
Nick's picks.
So every week Nick's gonna show a picture. Last week was his shit.
Yeah, that was. I took a dump today actually, and I wanted to take a picture of it, but it wasn't a one wiper.
I was gonna take one too, but yeah, exactly. There's too much toilet paper on that side.
I was gonna take one and then I realized it was a
little closer.
idea.
Closer.
Oh, it's a little shiny. Oh,
How about the angle?
Angle down.
yeah. All right. There we go.
This is on my friend's fridge.
Yeah, that's good.
And what else we got here today?
Why did you take the
What
7?
else is there?
Yeah, why did you take a picture of the 7?
It just centers really well. This is in the hallway.
Oh, closer.
Tilt down.
All right, a little bit.
That's good enough. It's just a 7 on a white background.
Not that I live on the
It's pretty
7th
much
floor.
nothing.
You just have to do a side wipe with it.
It's one of my favorite numbers. Go fuck yourself.
Hey, I have a tattoo of my arm right there. Roman numeral 7.
Not the proper way.
The Roman way.
When in Rome.
Yeah. Except I was in my friend's basement.
It's kind of like Rome. Kind of.
It's true. I called it. Well, my friend's basement. But it sounds like Rome.
Which once again brings us back to bands and touring.
Yeah, let's talk about bands and touring. Awkward silence.
I've never been in a band. I've never gone on tour.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, Nick. Drinking out of a gravy boat.
I've been on about 6 tours so far. 5 times to the West Coast and back. 1 time to the East Coast and back. The East Coast was the winter in 2003.
I don't remember that.
It was really bad out there. And like plus or minus 30 every day.
Why would you see when we toured once in the winter time?
Yeah, plus 30 in the winter.
Plus 30's alright.
No, plus 30 sucks.
Why did you? What were you doing? Tell them what you do.
I was just roadieing. I think I was just lifting
really?
gear and.
You're a drummer though, right?
I play drums, but I just hang out with bands on tour. I've only been in one band that toured myself, and that was just 2 days. I don't really consider that
Don't hit the table.
much of an actual tour.
That's gonna be part of the drinking game. Did I tell you guys about the drinking game?
Every time you hit the table, you start drinking?
Yeah, every time someone. That's one. So think of fuck ups.
Rob Ford.
Rob Ford.
And the Gravy Train.
I gotta stop this. No!
What?
So the only-
I gotta start doing dishes.
The only day that it wasn't minus 20 or minus 30 in that tour, it was like just blizzard, snow.
Yeah.
And our van caught on fire in that tour while I was driving.
Nice.
I toured in the summertime. It was great with the
Summertime's-
windows down. We were in Quebec and there's rivers. We went swimming.
Nice.
You had flaming vans and
Flaming
snow.
vans in Montreal and fun times.
Let me
but
tell you where you made a mistake.
touring in the
December.
middle of February. Yeah, no, it's not the best time to tour.
February is
But
the worst month.
the middle of summer is really bad too. Like I'm
No, it's
saying,
not. It was fabulous.
plus
It's-
30.
Sorry. It was awesome. I live in Fabulousville.
Plus 30 in the
The words are
prairies.
starting to...
That's not the fabulous I remember. But yeah, no, plus 30 in a
Why don't I
van
edit this? Go on.
for 8 hours straight sucks. Like
Driving?
when it's plus 30 in a van.
I don't have a license,
At
so I
night.
didn't have that problem.
Oh, there you go. So you can just hang out on top of it.
I
like
had the
Teen
back
Wolf.
seat. It was great.
Do handstands on the roof. Talking about Teen Wolf.
Good for resistance training.
Lunges in a stopping subway.
No,
Segway.
yeah, wind resistance. You're sitting on top of a van going like 100 kilometers an hour. Maintain your form.
George Foreman grill.
Yeah.
G form.
No phones.
Am I getting texted right now? Focus, Simon. Focus.
Check his phone for him.
Yeah, you
Lock,
can do that.
shake. Sound on?
That sound off.
Unlock.
So, bands.
KK. KKK.
KKK.
What?
I don't know.
Wow.
I didn't
So
send it.
I was cruising around
I
on
know
YouTube.
better.
Cruising around on YouTube, and I saw the
Is it
best.
really?
I saw the best opening to a porno. 'Cause pornographers are really bad
On
actors
YouTube.
and like screenwriters as well. And it turns out that
They
it
don't
was
have vision.
Yeah, they just lack the cinematic vision and the subtlety of.
They're
nuance
really good at
character.
going from the front door with a pizza to inside someone.
Yeah, which is difficult to
It's
do.
art.
I tried that once and it did not work.
Yeah, well, you're
The one
just not an
third
artist of the door slam.
Exactly.
When they leave you in the room alone, you have a 1/3 chance if you get naked. The time you get back, they'll have sex with you.
So it was a bunch of
1/3
trailer
rule.
trash. It was a bunch of trailer trash, dude. Like trailer trash girl wearing like cut off pants and the fucking titty shirts and all that. And then the
God
dude
bless
dressed
him.
up in a KKK outfit started talking about the black problem and then like walked
A
out.
black problem.
And then his neighbor came in and started he's like, yeah, I'm really worried about the future of the white race. So I want to save my semen, which led into them having sex.
Oh, wow.
It was the worst
That's
opening
not how
I've
you
ever
save
seen in my
semen.
life. She got out an ice cube tray from the freezer. Oh my god.
Yikes.
I want to watch it, but not with you guys.
That's fair enough. That seems
I
reasonable.
saw it on YouTube. There was no sex.
Oh, then that's fine. dude.
No.
I don't have the internet on here right now. So
Probably for the best.
We're Googling phones if we have anything like trees we have to talk about.
Oh yeah. I still need to find those plants. I want to get some
NASA plants.
NASA plants.
For those who didn't watch the hour and 55
They
minutes
actually
of the
do this-
first
Yeah.
podcast.
But no, they actually
Not
do
that there's
this.
anything wrong with it being that long. It's very long.
They actually do this in business complexes in India. They have like 3 set plants that they use to like work out the pollution that's in the air because the air around there in some of the cities is really awful.
That's what we were talking about. I forgot what trees we were talking about.
And
I
when
was
you
saying
cram-
there was-
when you cram like 150 people into like a relatively small room with all the cubicles working, it gets hot and nasty in there and like really gross really quickly. But if you put these plants in, it makes a large difference in the air quality.
Like takes the humidity out.
Yeah, and it like cleans the air itself.
We were talking about. I was talking about that with my friend yesterday, and if you go to Cuba or somewhere with a way cleaner air than downtown Toronto, hangovers are way better. Like you don't get hungovers better when you. And They were trying to argue that has nothing to do with the air quality, but it completely does. Because if you go up north to like Muskokas or something, you don't get hungover nearly as bad as you would if you drank your face off here.
Winnipeg's air is a lot cleaner.
I think
I've never really drank too much there, but it makes sense.
I think it's the air, really. Because what else could it really be? The food's probably the same. You're dehydrated. If you're drinking the same beer with the same food and the same sleeping, the only difference is the air, really.
There's a lot of variables to make it very difficult to control for.
Air quality.
All right.
Global warming.
I'm convinced.
Al Gore.
I'm going to call it
algorithms.
Yep. Algorithms. Wow.
I'm going to spit up. Maybe that was cool. Yeah. Is that the first one?
Yep, that's the one.
Right. Next topic.
It's already beginning.
Oh my god. Retirement watch?
What?
This is our subtle segue. You got a retirement watch.
Really?
How did you?
Would you retire from? Sorry.
That's an extended drink, right, for the shot?
The shot. I can't stare at people.
You can't stare at me.
Why? What would you?
I retired from security work. I did 6 years. I didn't get stabbed or shot, and I'm done. I got me my watch.
See? Nice.
So what kind of Rolex is this?
What form of syphilis did you get with?
Pretty nice.
Yeah, I'm down with it.
Nice little watch.
Yeah.
Is it waterproof?
No.
It's not even a real watch.
It's not that kind of.
Real watches have Velcro bands.
It's true. Speaking of bands. Oh, that was a segue into Native Aboriginal rights.
Oh, I thought it was about music that we were talking before.
No, as the band is what unites it all.
It is.
The watch band, the music band,
the band office, the rubber bands.
Yeah.
Rubber bands.
Wacky Land Rubber Band.
Wacky Land Rubber Band.
Why do you actually want to talk about Native rights?
Was there something specific?
What was that all about?
The big movement right now, the I Don't Know More.
Oh yeah. I actually haven't done any research on this.
Neither have I. So.
I figured since we
it's just my general impression is that there's a whole lot of white people who talk about it and they're like, yeah, fucking Indians are acting up again, and it's just the worst to access the tape.
Is it a golf course?
That's all I have to tape.
Is there a golf course involved?
No, but there really should be, because that's not okay.
Yeah, golf courses are kind of extravagant.
Yeah, but what do they really have now? That was horrible.
Well, I heard they had some land reserved.
Sorry.
For the personal use.
Recreational land. It's not a real big deal.
Yeah.
But all those treaties that they had are now being wiped out by Stephen Harper, and that's why this movement is spreading. Because they're all going to go in one short bill, and that's the big concern right now.
Vaguely related to this, I was chatting with my dad today because he's a baby boomer, and I was like, I hate to say this to you because you have this attitude. He was talking about he's not going to have to deal with all these problems if it lasts for 10 or 15 years. He's like, whatever, I'm going to be dead by then. And I'm like, this is the attitude that pretty much every baby boomer has, and the problem is that they all have positions of power, or everybody who's in a position of power is a baby boomer. And if they have this kind of short-term thinking attitude, I don't give a fuck, I'm going to be dead in 10 years, they'll do whatever the hell they want to. Yeah. And then we get to inherit that mess and have to deal with it.
And that's the problem with partisan politics, is that nobody really has to deal with 20-year plans.
Yeah.
And nobody can do a 20-year plan because it's a 5-year term. You might get voted out, or you might just do a hold election at 3 years and lose. Or win and have no foresight into the next 20 years, except for Stephen Harper, who's just slowly eroding away at human rights.
I mean, as much as I love to bash on that, there's not really an alternative to it.
One-party system, you vote on each issue.
Yeah, but who's in the party?
Me.
Everyone.
Stalin?
The Greeks.
Yeah, that's going to work.
Yeah, the original democracy is a pretty interesting concept.
Yeah.
Different ruler every day.
One man, one vote. I'm the man, I have the vote.
Well, we don't have that system anymore. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's an awkward issue, I guess, but
it's
because of the lack of foresight.
When you set up systems like this, everything is subject to entropy, which roughly translates into everything is going to get corrupted and get fucked up somewhere down the road. So how do you develop some kind of system, especially a system of governance, that's going to at least resist this corruption for a time being? I
think I was watching a Street Sense that talked about this, why people didn't want to vote, and I think half the people said we just don't think the voting system represents us. Not necessarily that the people that were voting in didn't represent us, but the voting system itself didn't represent us. And they kind of brushed over that 50% majority of people were saying, we don't think this voting system works, and it doesn't. But Then they try to talk about the 2 or 3 people that said this and 2 or 3 that said that. They just ignore the fact that people don't think the voting system works.
Well, let's look at the electoral college system that they use in the U.S. for presidential election. Like, that's completely unrepresentative of anything, and that's why they need to have 2 separate things where you have the electoral college votes and then you count the popular votes separately.
Yeah.
Why would you do that? If you were going to be electing somebody by force of numbers, then you'd think that the popularity vote would be more involved with that. Yeah. And it's not.
The United States started out as one of the best systems around from
when it's
a
in
revolutionary
comparison,
standpoint.
when it's in comparison to like monarchy, yeah, it's fantastic.
But then it just slowly eroded away, like just very slowly and very consistently. And from the 40s on, it was a mess.
Because they kept getting away with shit, so they just kept pushing the envelope a little
When
bit.
a corporation got the rights of the human, that was pretty much the nail in the grave.
And to quote one of my favorite
You
authors,
can't do
David
anything about
Sutton,
it, though.
it's
Nail
like
in the grave.
the shock doctrine thing.
No one noticed.
That was like they have this bill C-14 or Bill 14 or something like that. I wish I could remember the details of this because it would be fantastic.
I'd Google it, but on the internet.
Oh yeah.
Don't.
We're
I'll
talking
look it
Google
up
at the
on my
same
phone.
time.
All right, so this is where I talk and I Google at the same time, and I'm not at all delaying by like punching in my phone here and like, continuing to talk without actually having anything to actually say about this. But specifically, there's a bill coming up in Quebec where it's framed as a language bill, and it's saying things like CEGEPs are the high schools and the like college prep stuff they have in Montreal. And they're not going to be accepting francophone applications until every single anglophone application has been considered first, which is a little bit fucked up. And then there's like language police things that they're doing and all of that stuff. Bill 14. And
This reminds me of what Ottawa is trying to do to Leafs fans at the Senators.
Yeah,
Well, no,
are they going to put
the
a
idea
team
behind
in
this-
Hamilton?
the idea behind this is that they
Really?
they frame things that
Or
sound
Richmond Hill.
they frame
Yeah.
things that sound so fucking terrible that people will immediately reject it and say it's terrible, and then the politicians will say, "You're right, that's really awful," and they'll cut it out, and they were never intending to conclude it in the first place because what they actually wanted to put through seems so much more palatable after that, and it seems like, well, we'll concede to you this point, even though that was never really a concession. That was what they wanted, and what they wanted was a really fucked up thing in the first place.
Yeah, this is why like the Populist Party in the States
Yeah.
was such an
Bill
important
14.
like such an important step in between of the I forget what even the two parties were at the time. I think it was the Democrats and somebody else because the Republicans came later. But the Populist Party sort of stood the middle ground where the people were. They never got elected, but they kind of like not like the NDP. Like NDP is terrible, but they like
Get the
they
fuck out.
I hosted, did security for a party for the NDP.
fight.
I'll hurt you. I'll hurt you, not him. I like him.
didn't do it. Oh, you
Simon's my whipping boy.
He's in between us.
I can take it. It's not a big deal.
I did security for NDP party, and like they weren't really obnoxious or rude, but they were. And like for people that were like politically like inclined to be like that kind of offensive and stupid.
Is this saying that the NDP are assholes, or is this saying that maybe politicians are assholes?
Bit of both, bit of column A, bit of column B.
Because I mean, you don't have to be an NDP to be a politician, but you do have to be a politician to be part of the NDP.
The
You have to be
woman
an
that
asshole
was
to be a politician.
throwing the party didn't get
Yeah.
elected anyways. So, sorry, what?
What?
Oh, he just said
I
that.
thought.
I just wanted to say something.
I think
What-
that the NDP party is a sham, and it's been sold out already. It's not a populist party at
It's
all anymore.
not that bad. And
It's
like,
not a populist party by any stretch of the
Yeah,
imagination.
but populist isn't necessarily the best thing either, because you can very easily convince a majority of people that something is a good idea when it's not.
That's not what the
Like this
populist party was
podcast.
about. The populist
Yes.
populist party never won anything, but it influenced both sides. Whereas NDP doesn't influence either side because all three groups just care about money and like corporations and like bowing to corporate interests. NDP says they don't, but they would never get anywhere elected. They would never get elected anywhere unless they bow to corporate pressures.
I don't think that's necessarily accurate. I can't provide any counterexample, but I just don't think it's necessarily accurate.
Just disagree.
I disagree.
It's like a moderator right now. You guys,
Nick,
you guys,
15 seconds.
You guys debate, and I'm just gonna play
The Green
tennis.
Party was on to something in Canada, but
Face
then
tennis.
Yeah, see that?
they got kind of co-opted too. The Green Party got sold out bought out by the Conservatives from what it seemed like about 8 years ago. And then from then on, it's just been like there's no populist party in Canada. There's 4 or 5 parties, but there's no real like
I would
legit
rather
for
have
the
4 or
people.
5 parties that are not populist parties than 2 parties that are not populist parties.
Yeah, 2-party systems devastating.
And especially if Conrad Black is encouraging it, I feel more inclined to say, fuck you, that's a terrible idea.
Anything,
Speaking of
anything
parties-
the media says, I want to stab them.
One time, I was at a party, and I poured beer down my pants and asked who wanted beer nuts. I just wanted to share that story.
I was gonna buy beer nuts for this. Actually, next time.
I
Next
wanted. I'm gonna do that.
I just
Some
wanted
part of the
to,
future.
you know, throw a couple little chuckles in there. Not in the whole political
singer.
debate.
Yeah.
Let's just change the subject. Next topic.
Well, I just don't follow Canadian politics, so I have nothing to contribute.
I
with
don't
that.
blame you.
But you
Yeah,
know what I
it's
do
boring as
follow?
Boring as shit.
Pouring beer down my pants. That's the thing I can get
Brings us
behind.
back to tour
Yeah.
and being in a band and doing stupid shit.
One time I got so drunk that I had to pee out of the window of a moving vehicle, and it took 2 people to hold me against it while this was going on. I was blacked out at the time. I don't remember it.
You
But
say, why do you need people to hold you up while you piss?
I was really, really drunk.
Oh, yeah, I'd hope so.
But I looked at the vehicle
It's like I
after
was
the fact.
lazy.
I looked at the vehicle the next morning.
Oh, they said the
And
video.
fun fact, Nick was driving this truck at the time that this was going on. I looked at the windows after the fact.
Mr.
And one side
License.
is all like crusted with mud and nastiness, and the other window was suspiciously clean and like a narrow band.
Sterile. Totally sterile down the side.
Yeah.
Speaking of pissing in vans, did you ever have to do the whole water bottle piss thing on touring?
One guy almost filled a 1 liter bottle of water. He's like, oh god, I'm gonna go over. I'm gonna go over. I'm like, just cut it off, dude. I'm gonna cut it off. Just stop.
Just stop.
1
What is
liter,
that?
man. That's
I think
a lot
he's in.
of piss.
What band is he in now? St. Catherine's?
Was it half full when he started?
No, it's empty. He filled a liter, dude.
Wow.
It was crazy. Like, he actually stopped at the lid. And then we were passing it around because it feels all warm and gross.
Yeah, that's
Why would you pass it around?
We're in a band. We're on tour.
You might as well hold a jug of piss.
it's a bonding moment between guys. You just
Thought it was Gatorade.
The other thing we did on that... the other thing we did on that
sour
tour
lemon
was...
flavored.
Old apples.
We changed drivers while we were driving on that tour, which is super dangerous, but like fantastic, like exhilarating.
While in motion?
Yeah,
Oh, that's...
yeah.
That's fun.
So the person driving like hits the gas, gets a little bit of space going, and then like holds the wheel, and the other person sits in front, and we go around. And
Are you still in
worked.
this? You're completely out.
I'm out of the shot.
Yeah.
Perfect. We didn't do anything illegal on tour ever. We
No.
never threw stuff into each other's vans on tour. One of the worst things that happened, it was a Counterfeit and Self-Made Man were having this like van rivalry, like trying to like catch up their van and stuff. And gas stations, we'd like whatever.
Butter in the door handles.
I wanted to. I just read in Maxim magazine this way to freeze like a shaving cream, and then you cut the lid off it with a can opener, and then you let it just expand as it thaws. So it just takes everything up in the van. They're like, no, we can't do anything inside the van. We made a rule. So they already made a rule. You can't do anything inside the van. You can only do something to the outside. So the guys in Self-Made Man got
Should
maple-
plug up the exhaust pipe and just let it go inside.
You can't kill people. You can't kill.
It's not your fault. You're just putting like
There's
aerosol
two
cans
basic
there.
rules. You can't kill people. We couldn't do anything inside the van. So they got
You can compromise, fill the van with safety peanuts. That way, when it hits something and everybody flies out, there will be landing soft packing material on the ground for them.
Yeah,
There you go. Spoken like a true mover. I should have hired you last weekend when I moved.
Yeah.
So, anyways, they got
Should have.
maple syrup, chocolate syrup, and cocoa powder. And sprinkle the cocoa powder on top after doing maple syrup and chocolate. Have you ever tried to get maple syrup or chocolate syrup off of glass?
I can't say that. I
Razor
have.
blade works like a charm.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
everyone carries those on tour.
Sometimes you gotta cut somebody.
Why?
This feels so much better than actually doing anything I'm supposed to.
Life. So hard. So, yeah, they were kind of pissed off at us.
Where
after
did you tour?
that
You
was
said the East Coast?
that was from we met Counterfeit up going from, so we went all the way from Brampton to Vancouver. We met them in
Oh, so you did
Vancouver.
an actual tour. We just went through like Ontario and that's a drink, and Quebec.
saying the word Ontario.
I hit the
Gravy
table.
train.
I hit the table. It's a drink. Not for you.
And in reference to Rob Ford, the gravy train. That's a shot.
Butter sculpture of Rob Ford.
Isn't that our mayor?
Did you guys see that?
He's an actual butter sculpture.
No, there was.
He's like 30% butter.
Well, he himself is like a walking
That's
butter
a
sculpture.
conservative number.
Wow.
Oh, he's a conservative politician.
Conservative.
So back
I'll give you one for that.
yeah. So back in the X, when the X was going on,
Yep.
exhibition, one of the artists like put a whole bunch of butter up in a refrigerated room and then carved a sculpture of Rob Ford. So there was literally a butter sculpture.
Was it life size?
Of Rob Ford. Yeah, it was. The head was about like yay big.
So, yeah.
it was solid butter.
Life size?
I'm saying it was pretty accurate.
I still like his politics better than the real Rob Ford.
More butter for everyone.
Exactly. But yeah, no, I've done the East Coast all the way to East Coast to the West Coast, East Coast to the West Coast, West Coast to East Coast. And,
What was your favorite province? territory. You can go to any territories.
I didn't hit the territories. No,
There's no point.
The only place I almost got to was high level, and that was as close as I've been to the territories.
It was about an hour away, and it was nuts because, like, the whole sun thing. The day the sun was in the air up until
the day the sun stands still. In
like,
the summer.
Like in the summertime,
36
it's like a
hours
full
of
day.
sunlight?
Yeah.
At least 36, more like 38 and a half. But
way off.
Yeah.
Rob Ford.
Way to Rob Ford that, man. I just thought of an Oregon Trail joke, but it's not funny. Anyways.
We'll get back to that. Write that down.
Rob Ford the river. Anyways.
Rob River? Go on.
Chris Brown.
So yeah, the sun didn't set until like 11:30 at night, and it rose at about 2:30 in the morning. And even the time when the sun wasn't in the sky, it was like dusk.
Was it still like sunset?
Yeah, you could see light in the sky. We stayed up all night, and our last night there, you could see all of it was like that the whole time. It was crazy.
Fuck that, man.
My story's not that crazy.
I'd rather be night all the time.
I would go to bed at 10 o'clock. This heat from the day was still in my tent. I would wake up at 5:30 in the morning, and the sun is like way up in the sky already.
What were you doing there?
Pre-plan.
Why?
Suicide by self-loathing.
10 cents
man.
per tree.
I
It
guess
was
that's
9 cents for
more.
a few of those lots.
I don't understand why you guys would do that.
Yeah, but those are easy ones.
Why did you ever stop thinking that was a good idea?
I really wanted to challenge myself.
Oh, well, mission
I wanted to
accomplished, I'm
spend
sure.
my entire tax return on something that I wouldn't get my money back from. And then I made my money back, and then I got to Edmonton.
You could have just bought a mountain of meth.
Presence of mind. Presence of mind.
Or bath salts, but I guess bath salts weren't really around then.
You know what I have?
Not legally.
No.
I got a problem with the whole bath salt thing. When he got high as fuck and ate that guy's face, everyone called him a zombie.
He wasn't on bath
He's a
salts.
cannibal.
But he was also not on bath
He was
salts.
also not on bath
well,
salts.
whatever.
He was only on
But
hash.
everyone was going off about how he's a zombie, it's a zombie apocalypse, zombies are coming, blah, blah, blah. There's nothing about... He wasn't dead at all.
No.
He was a cannibal.
Yeah.
What the fuck was the whole zombie thing about?
Eating flesh.
But that's a cannibal.
Yeah, you're right.
He's not a fucking zombie. Zombies eat brains, not people's faces.
That's true.
And he wasn't dead. He was high as fuck on something.
Hash. Hash.
Really? Was it hash?
It was
Yeah,
just
they found
hash.
only hash in his
So
system.
he-
And that's why you don't do hash, kids.
Just munchies, eh?
Stay away from drugs.
Yeah. Sometimes you get munchies for chips. Sometimes you get munchies for faces.
But it doesn't
There's
necessarily
probably a really
get
good
rid
spot
of,
for a zinger there, but I couldn't think of anything.
it doesn't necessarily get rid of that fear of cannibalism that exists around every human, that at some point or another you might want to start eating another person around you for some strange reason.
Why would you
and
want to
this
do that?
spontaneously happens sometimes. They don't know why.
2 fun facts. Number 1, Scotland didn't outlaw cannibalism until the 1950s. Presumably there was an event that had them legislate that it was actually illegal.
That molasses incident you were talking about in the last one?
Let's just do some throwbacks to history. And
last week.
And the second point was... I forgot the second point.
But it was a fun fact.
It was a fun fact.
About cannibalism.
Oh, when I was like
Pop
5,
it
my
in.
parents...
fucking texting.
When I was like 5, my
It was
parents...
They
important.
can see
It
you
was
text
all research.
Of
See the
Google.
mole?
When,
Oh, I know what I was going to show.
when I was
Continue.
a kid, my parents decided to rent the movie Alive and watch it when I was 5.
That makes sense.
And I was in the room and watching it. And when it came to the scene where they were like taking broken glass and like starting to cut up the bodies, they're like, "It's time to carve the pumpkin for Halloween. Let's go, Dave." And they dragged me out of the room. And I'm like, "What? I wanted to watch the movie. I wasn't following anything that went along.
Was it a
I was too
cannibal
young to
movie?
like have the attention span to have 2 hours of time to focus to it.
No one said that movie's a zombie movie, though.
They should have.
They should. It's a zombie
It's
movie.
a soccer movie.
Yeah. Stop.
It's your
What are you
traditional soccer movie.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
going to show a picture of my mole.
I gotta get like a little logo so I can flash up like Nick's picks.
Nick's picks.
We'll work on that.
You can write a
So
theme
sure.
song.
Hold on. Oh god. Oh, yep.
Tilt it down.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, that exists on my head at all times.
Is that-
especially the smiley face.
I was gonna say that you can ever get that tattooed there.
I should. I really
Yeah.
should. I don't got much else going on with this mole, right? So
Let's see it. Where's the actual mole? Oh yeah, that's
pretty massive.
Pretty sizable.
yeah.
It's pretty disfiguring.
Why don't you just take some...
It's noticeable, Nick.
Dude,
It's very
You
noticeable.
say
Just do the movers
Something
trick
funny.
and like color it in with brown Sharpie so that nobody really notices it's there.
Yeah, we didn't damage this desk. What are you talking about?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Just the
cover
gravy
it.
train breaks it.
Cover with super glue, color it brown,
Sticks
and then
together.
nobody's going to notice that anything's fucked with it.
just wear a little hat, a little side top hat, like in the cartoon.
At a BC.
Look great. It'll be your thing.
A tiny top hat on the mole.
You can get. Don't they have a top hat in Monopoly? That'd probably fit.
Yeah, that's true. No, it would cover up the mole completely.
Yeah, you can just stick it right on like a Lego.
Make
piece.
your mole bigger.
Solder it right to my head. Because my head's made of metal.
Yeah. Nick's the most metal guy I know.
Fuck.
I gotta leave.
Yeah.
I don't know if we can get to the rest of this.
Let's
story.
make it 3 more minutes. At least we'll make a half hour.
Okay,
quick cast.
what
in the
do
news
you
today?
want to talk about? The Leafs.
I have to talk about. You don't know Tommy Toehold, and I told you that I was going
That's
to talk to
quite
you
the
about
nickname.
this. Yeah, it's a little. All right, what it is? Because none of my friends really know what this is, but it's a really popular cartoon.
Can I show everybody what a toe hold is? Let me just get your.
Maybe one day. We gotta talk about that before this is over because no one knows what it is. So I'm gonna spread the word.
Do it.
What it is it's. Well, you probably won't care, so I apologize. It's a little cartoon on YouTube. It's like 5 to 10 minutes long.
Little green screen Dave out, turn him into a tree.
Yeah, well, here I'll hold my T-shirt. So it's a little MMA cartoon, but it's like a talk show, but a cartoon, and he makes fun of like his best one. I'll show you a link. Is Anderson Silva. And he makes fun of him. It's fucking hilarious. I'm gonna throw a little clip
I
in.
like Anderson Silva.
Yeah, but he's. I'm not gonna talk shit because.
He'll kick
Because
your ass.
Anderson Silva will beat you up
Oh, yeah,
from
'cause
Brazil.
because
Sure,
he's
it's
from
Brazil.
But yeah, I don't know how no one knows this thing because like Dana White and Rogan, everyone like tweets the shit, but no
I
one.
don't really respect either Dana White.
No, I'm
or
saying like
Joe
it's,
Rogan.
he has like these guys who are like giving him shoutouts and shit, and no one knows who he is. So
That's awesome.
I'm gonna.
And we got shoutouts from them too, right?
We did.
So that means nobody's gonna know us.
Yeah, fuck.
Did
Let's
you guys see
bash
the
everybody who
fights?
gives us shoutouts.
You guys see the fights last night?
Oh,
Van
last
Dyke
drop. Oh, nails it.
Now I'm awake.
Silva? Get you on the gravy train.
I love gravy.
The fights last
Just
night
fill
were
your
excellent.
coffee
Mark
cup
Hunt,
with gravy.
knockout. Stefan Struve.
Yeah. Are we gonna go down the fight road? Might as
Vandalay
well.
Silva. We're not talking about jiu-jitsu, so we're good. We're good.
Speaking of Jitsu,
I gotta leave.
Silva. Vandalay Silva.
Vandalay Silva won.
He was great.
He pulled it together. He wasn't great the whole fight, but he was.
Yeah.
I thought he lost one of the 3 rounds.
Did you watch fights?
I didn't watch this one.
Do you care about fights?
Vaguely.
Vaguely? You know Vandalay Silva?
Vaguely. I'm familiar with the name. I've seen 1 or 2 fights with him.
Not Anderson Silva.
No, I know.
There's like 18 Silvas.
What?
So, and you're dating a Brazilian girl too, right?
Yeah.
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
So you know all about that.
Oh, of course. And Ronaldo.
What's her last name, Silva?
No.
Damn.
Paulo.
Indeed.
Although she's a materials engineer, so I don't know how much she knows about fighting.
No.
Indeed.
So I was dragging her around by her sock the other day.
So I was choking her.
No. Like literally, she had like football or soccer socks on, and then like tight jeans, and I was trying to take her sock off. So I grabbed it by the toe, and I was pulling her around her room because this would not give in.
What's today?
Like soccer sucks.
Yeah, I think that was the new toe hold.
I'm told. Hey, let me just show that to everybody. No, it's cool. It's cool. So,
It's right in his face.
when you're executing a toe hold,
Look at
you
the
want to
toes.
make sure you go right to the toes
Oh, good.
and start to
I'm gonna-
bend them in.
He hasn't tapped yet.
Didn't feel a thing, ref.
Fuck. Wasn't that bad? No big deal.
NBD.
But yeah, no, Silva and Stan put on a display. So they both got dropped like 3 times each. Like both of them took a knee or fell flat out and got back up and kept firing. It was
How do you feel
crazy.
about Brian Stan?
He looked really good last night, actually.
Yeah.
Like, I thought he did great. Unfortunately, he was fighting Vandalay Silva, who's a
Yeah.
goddamn lunatic.
Like, nothing against him, because I hate talking shit on people that are in UFC, because they're really obviously
Because they're
good.
going to find you and punch you.
No,
From
because they're
Brazil.
obviously very good. Especially if you're headlining, but if you get subbed by Chael Sonnen, I can't, like, how good can you be on the ground, really?
Song's not bad.
He's a wrestler, though, and he got
The wrestlers transition into jiu-jitsu.
I know, but fuck, man, like,
Wrestling.
But fuck
Sushi.
indeed.
oh, no,
Yeah, you're
But
breaking
fuck.
your own rules. Don't touch the table.
don't, that's a drink. Every time you're on your phone, it's another drink, and it adds to the fucking rule.
That's a stupid rule.
What?
I already agree.
You don't
with that
have to
rule.
drink, there's people watching have to drink.
I'm touching the table and using my phone.
That's like, finish your drink. If I do it too.
Way ahead of that.
Sorry, I don't do security anymore. I retired.
Where's the
Anyways.
enforcer in here?
Where's Colton?
Where are you
when need
going?
him? I have to go teach jiu-jitsu.
We don't talk about that.
We don't talk about that here.
I have to go teach the dark arts.
I have to go to Sheridan College, the police foundation's room, to hurt people. Mercilessly.
You teach cops?
Some of them are police foundations people. They're not necessarily. I don't teach any full-out police officers anymore, but I've taught a few.
Supporting the
I have
enemy.
a friend who's
That's
a
how it
cop. He
goes.
wants to learn.
Yeah.
But
Bring him in.
I fucking hate cops.
Yeah, no problem with cops.
I don't either.
My experience has been 50-50 with
Really?
with people in power, and like
Like,
most cops have been
outside
pretty
of the
decent.
gym, like cops or like cops in training.
Cops in training are great. I've
Yeah.
had no problems with cops.
I was
in
surprised. I figured there'd be a bit of an ego, but usually they're pretty good. Same with bodybuilders.
You know,
Bodybuilders are really
If
not
they
that
have
bad.
ego, they will not step in the door. They won't even go anywhere close. They'll look at it, and that'll be it. If they have any ego, they will not want to leave the weightlifting
So
gym.
maybe that's why
Guys that
we've
come
always had
in,
good experiences.
we kicked a soccer ball at one guy, and he had his full uniform on. He pretended to pull his gun out and lay some shots into the room. And like we're all laughing, but also terrified because this guy has a gun on him. But he was a really good sport about it. We were crazy about playing soccer, but he thought it was just hilarious.
Is this Jits soccer?
This was
Like the warm-up
Jits
soccer?
soccer at Bravado, yeah.
Can you explain that to?
Jiu-Jitsu. We do takedowns plus soccer. So I learned this in Winnipeg from my first instructor, Rodrigo, and like Rodrigo was kind of merciless. He would like just flip people, launch them, and go on a breakaway, go through the legs, like doing all his fancy moves, and then score. And like some people liked it, some people didn't. And the weird thing about when we played it is the more aggressive we played, the less people got hurt. And the less aggressive we played, the more people got hurt. We had a guy on a breakaway, like, dislocate his toe where it was going, like, straight out to the side. And, like, the more contact we had, the more people, like, they were like, oh, it's like a fight. Okay, so you start to defend yourself. You care less about the soccer. So you don't get hurt as much because you're playing soccer barefoot, which on mats isn't as safe as it should be. It's not like soccer on the grass. Or like,
Yeah, I just hate soccer.
So is it okay
Yeah,
that
there's people that don't
when you're
like
playing like
Oh, it's
so
just they're pussies, man.
when you're playing
They're always
jiu-jitsu
fake.
soccer, are you allowed to actually like dive and break somebody's knee as a legitimate move?
I had a few guys.
You're
do
not allowed
some
to fake
dirty,
it.
dirty takedowns.
Yeah, no faking.
You probably could though. So you're actually getting hurt, so why not? Fake.
We played with two guys that played semi-pro soccer, and they were in their 40s, so they set the tone. Like there was no playing around with these guys. Like they didn't take any dives. They were lightning fast. They played good D, good offense. They could play net. They could
I
do it
love
all.
people who are good at D.
I'm gonna get Rocco to put
Fuck
a
both
guillotine
of you.
choke on you and just put you out. Man, the strongest man.
I was
ever
making a
fought.
joke about that earlier because my name begins with D. Everybody wants the D.
My last
I
name's
gotta
G,
go.
so I got nothing funny.
My name spells fear.
It does.
If you change it.
Anagrammatically.
If you're dyslexic.
If I'm what?
What?
Anyways,
If I'm
Simon, pleasure as always. Shake my hand. I gotta go.
What's this one at? 34?
34.
Fuck, this would be like a 1.5 podcast.
1.21 gigawatts. Oh, sorry. I gotta leave.
Yeah, I guess. What time is it? 10 after? Not bad.
Yeah,
Worked out okay.
not that.
Yeah, fuck.
We'll reconvene.
I guess
do
we can stop
another hour.
recording this. Yeah, we gotta do another hour. Oh yeah,
We'll be a bit better organized this time.
eat a bag of
I promise.
dicks.
6 of them.
6 dicks, bags.
Bags with 6 dicks or 6 bags of dicks?
All the dicks in the world. Eat them. All you can eat dicks.
It's like bath salts, but worse.
You don't need bath salts.